What's going on, folks? I'm Renegade. It's been a while, but I'm back in my garage with this, my 2006 R6 that has not been going too well. So, a little backstory. I bought the bike almost 2 years ago now. It had some issues, didn't run right. Had some other issues that basically led for me to swap out the entire frame, and yeah, a lot of work. But anywho, the bike never quite ran right, and I looked into a bunch of things. For one, it had a spark plug that the head was stripped out on, so I had to bore out a new, or I had to rethread the cylinder head to accept a spark plug. So that was fun. The AIS was messed up, so I swapped that out with blanks, thinking maybe that was the issue because it was popping and farting a lot. That didn't cause it. The air filter was messed up, so I replaced the air filter, thinking that was it. All these other things. The gas tank was all sorts of gummy because it's been sitting for a while, so I cleaned the fuel filter and the fuel lines, and still nothing. And every time I did something, it got a little bit worse. Now, when I got the bike, it would start, but it was a rough start. Well, after I took care of the spark plug, when I bought it, it was non-running at all, which I'm guessing was part of the reason I could buy it. Anywho, fixed the spark plug. After that, the bike would start, but it was a really rough start. It didn't really want to start. And then it really didn't want to idle well when it was warming up. And then it would warm up and it would still kind of be a little rough, but it would kind of seem to be getting into its own little groove. And you try and go riding, and it didn't want to accelerate. I mean, it would accelerate, but it was a very slow acceleration compared to what it should be. I mean, it was still pretty damn fast, you know, compared to like a car. But for this bike, it was slow. It was particularly in low RPMs. Low RPMs, it didn't want to get going, moving. So, continued mucking around with it, and every time I worked on something, it got predominantly worse. Like, I changed the air filter, seeing the old one was messed up, so that should make things better, and it made it worse instead. Cleaned out the gas pump, and I got a couple days of it running, but not super well, but at least a little bit better, and then it got worse again. All these things leading up and leading up and leading up, and finally I'm just, well, let me back up, okay? I'm used to much older motorcycles, okay? My first bike was in '82. My second bike's in '93. The third bike I owned was an '86. Okay, we're talking about all older models, older engines. Although an internal combustion engine isn't that much different from '82, like the Maxim motor that I have out there, the 400, to this, they're different enough. Performance is different. The idiosyncrasies of different models are different. And I'm new to this. Okay, this bike, first of all, it's the newest. This is the newest vehicle I've really worked on. You know, say for a tune-up on a newer model car, this is the first vehicle I've really worked on that is this new. And I've never worked on an R6 before. And I know it's a strange statement to make, because, you know, it's a motorcycle. Everything should be roughly the same. But every vehicle has its own idiosyncrasies, its own tendencies. that goes for how it likes to be driven, ridden, whatever, and things that would go wrong normally versus not go wrong on other things. What am I getting to? Well, doing a little research on it, and I had read it before, but to be honest with you, I was stubborn. I'm a very stubborn person, and trust me, my fiance will attest to that. Very stubborn person, and I didn't want to think some of the worst possibilities. And you know, I'm kind of a junkyard mechanic. I'm the type of person that, you know, go for the easy fix first, the easy solution first. It's not to say you rig it, but it's to say like, oh well, check the little things first. If it's that, start there and work your way up to the big possibilities, because it'd be far easier and better for it to be a little $10 fix that takes 15 minutes than a $100 fix that takes 8 hours. Don't jump to the big conclusions. Well, as I do more research into it, it turns out that one of the common issues with this motorcycle, with the 06, 07 R6, are valve clearances, which makes a little bit of sense considering the speed at which these valves are being pushed up and coming back. I'm sure the previous owner was a little throttle happy, shall we say. Just a guess given by his personality. But regardless, yeah, apparently it's a very common thing for these bikes to develop an issue with. But I've been stubborn and I haven't wanted to get into it because it's kind of an involved process. Now, it's not too difficult, but it's involved. Okay. But now I'm realizing the error of my own ways, the fact that I haven't dealt with this and I didn't want to face this for so long. Instead, I've been just mucking around with different little solutions thinking I would get somewhere. And that has made it so that it has taken so long to get to getting this bike running and on the road, which is ultimately what I want. I mean, I want to be able to take this out on the road, right? It's not just about looks. I mean, it's cool to be able to say, hey, I got an R6 in my garage, but what good is it if it doesn't run? I can't take it out riding. Ooh. Now, for those of you who have been subscribed for a while, you'll know I've had this motorcycle for a while, and I haven't done anything with it recently. It's just kind of been absent, shall we say, from the channel. And this is the reason why, because it hasn't been running, and it's kind of been a pain in my ass, to be honest with you. But I did say not super long ago that this bike would be making its return to the channel and that I would be getting back into working on this. Well, obviously, if it's in the garage, that's what I'm doing. So first thing I got to do is I got to get it running, and then I've got some little aesthetic changes that I want to make to it, and maybe a few performance things that I want to do. I want to get into. We'll have to see, because money and time and everything like that. But if it's back in the garage, I took off the fairings. They're actually all over here in a pile. They need to be, so I need to touch up some of the paint on some of them, but also just, I need to get basically to the motor. Because yeah, that's where I need to get to do the valve adjustments. But yeah, loads of fun. I say really, this bike has been just a pain in my ass for basically since I bought it, which is really a shame because I've been so excited to have this bike. I mean, this is one of my dream motorcycles here. So of course I was so eager, which is probably what happened. I was probably over eager, and I didn't. Well, I know I was over eager because of certain issues it had, but I think I was even more over eager, and I overlooked certain things, and that has been a detriment to me getting this bike on the road. So it is what it is. you live and you learn, and you try and get better. Try and do better, and try and, I guess, fix the issues that you have. Anywho, I'm gonna get back into working on this motorcycle and hopefully have it on the road soon. So you guys can look forward to more content on this bike very soon. So if you're not subscribed, please take this opportunity to hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload a new video. Like I said, we're gonna get into this bike. We're gonna get it fixed up, running, riding again. God, I can't wait to go riding. And I got a whole bunch of other projects to do. Yay! Including one to do on this garage very soon. I'll let that be a surprise. Anyway, that's gonna do it for today. Short little video. I do apologize to my subscribers for being absent for so long. There's been a lot of things going on, but I'm getting back to it. So y'all have a good one. Keep rocking and rolling. Keep taking care of business. See you in the next one.